You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's $1 Million Listing After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's $1 Million Listing After Show.
Tear. So many tears. As they say, all good things must come to an end. Welcome everyone to the $1 Million Listing New York season finale AFTERBUZZ show. I'm your host, Lauren Ebersol. I'm a little sad, I'm not gonna lie. I'm here with Jocelyn Polite.
Hello.
It's kind of a bummer. I'm gonna miss these guys.
Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna feel like this, but I actually, when in watching it, I was like, I'm gonna miss the show.
I know.
I really
am. I cried on the inside, but I cried.
I know, me too. Tear.
All right. Well, it was a good finale.
Yeah, it was. I liked this one. It was calm and then had some little patches of roughness, and then it just went back to being calm again.
And we really wrapped everything up in a nice little bow. But let's start from the beginning. So let's go with our boy Frederick. I love you, Frederick. I profess my love for you every week, but just know that it's eternal and it beats evermore. But we see Frederick is in the car with Derek going to the Hamptons because all Manhattanites go to the Hamptons for the summer. And actually, funnily enough, it's Barn and Vine, which we just talked about in our other show.
We did. We talked about the developments that are out there. Barn and Vine. It's a whole new development community in Bridgehampton.
Yeah. And these beautiful, beautiful spaces, 7,000 square feet, which is really cool. And we see Frederick go there, and he's talking to Jane, who is the developer, and he has a partner in crime on this listing, a woman by the name of Terry, because obviously he's in Manhattan and he needs someone to show the listing to people who are out and actually living in the Hamptons. So she's a bit of a trip, this Terry lady, for sure.
I can't handle Terry. She got on my nerves the entire episode. Like, I cannot handle Terry. I found her extremely annoying.
Well, when we open up with her, we see her and she's pretty reserved. She seems like a nice lady, and we see later she's still a very nice lady, but she gets a little shrieky. But anyway, we're working with a beautiful property. It's 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, fireplaces, private heated pool. Yes, please. I mean, to go to this place in the middle of summer, as he says, most people in the wealthy in Manhattan retreat to the Hamptons for the summer for Friday through Monday to get away from the work week. So it's definitely a good market to be in.
Yeah, the playground for the rich.
Yes,
you know
exactly.
Go
the
out
playground for the rich.
For the summer through Labor Day, go out on the weekends. And I mean, this is where you get, the stuff that I love, the front yard, the backyard, the beach, everything.
The space.
That's fun, yeah.
The space you don't get in Manhattan. So now Frederick is saying he really wants to make this appeal to people who live in Manhattan. So he's saying, in Manhattan, people have doormen. They have concierge service. I want 5-star concierge service for this listing, and they're all for it. So they're gonna really turn this into something special.
Well, they have to make it look like it's something different. I mean, you have to come with something different. I mean, everyone, I'm assuming a lot of people in Manhattan go out to the Hamptons. They buy a beautiful home, and like it has a pool and it has all that stuff, and you expect that.
Yeah.
But what gives it that edge? You know
Especially
what I mean?
when you're buying within a community, which seems like Barn and Vine is. So yes, you have your own unit, but what makes it unique? What brings that little extra something that you would prefer this over buying a standalone house?
Concierge service.
Who doesn't love concierge service?
Oh, your own private concierge. How great is that? That comes with your community. So I mean, I'm wondering what that entails. So I'm like, wherever you want to go.
I guess like dry cleaning. Maybe they'll I was gonna say take your kids to school, but
wouldn't that be good?
That way, could be good, could be bad. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But all I can really think of is dry cleaning. I'm sure there are a lot of other cool things that you can get from
well, I mean, I'm
concierge
thinking
service.
if you're there for a short period of time, maybe I'm assuming there are places to go, you know, restaurants, clubs, they make reservations for you.
Yeah. Kind of like a hotel concierge. would be.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
similar to that.
Right.
But this is a pretty good commission. So it's $4.5 million.
I know.
Total commission.
Oh,
But
my
since he's
goodness.
splitting with this woman, Terry, it would be a take home of $2.25 million. It's not going to cry over that one.
No, and actually the entire development has over $150 million in properties on, you know, and
Yeah.
so that's a lot. I mean,
It's
that's
an
a lot of
incredible
selling.
listing
And
to
Frederick's
have.
in, so this is kind of his thing, and there's a lot of money to be made with, you know, with this development. So he's excited, and I'm excited for him because this is great. This is the development that we know Frederick to do. I mean, we were kind of confused about the
course.
Brooklyn thing last
Yeah.
episode.
No,
or
this
a
is more his
This is
speed
him,
for
yeah.
sure. And of course, in pure Frederick style, we have to have a fabulous opening party, which we see at the Gansevoort Hotel. And I love how he always wears his glasses for the openings.
Yeah, is he trying to just look like he's a little bit more
Maybe.
intelligent?
I saw it and I was like, twinsies.
I know, right? I feel left out.
I
mean,
know.
I'm wearing my glasses next week.
All right,
I feel left
yeah.
out. I'm
Of
like,
watch,
you
I
know,
forget mine. Yeah, but so he throws a fabulous opening party like he always does. And we see Terry really getting a bit aggressive and a bit pushy. She brings over this couple who's interested in potentially purchasing a unit. And I think maybe she drank a bit much. Do you think? I think maybe she got a little tipsy and gets a little like wild.
I don't know. I mean, I would. Yeah,
Do you like that
maybe
wild?
I do. I like that. Why? But her voice was screechy. She was annoying. I mean, it was just like he was trying to talk to this couple about the property or what they were interested in. They're trying to tell him what lot they're interested in. They're trying to tell him, you know, the design, the house design that they like. And she's just in there like, you know, and the voice is like way up. And I'm
And
like,
you can see him keep trying to bring it down.
and she won't stop like at all, and she just
No.
keeps like breaking into the conversation. And I know that she's relevant to
Yes.
this situation, and she wants, you know, to
Of
be
course,
a part of this.
she wants to bring something to the table.
Right, but you can't be like that.
No.
I mean, it was unprofessional in a way. So I'm hoping that maybe she had a little too much champagne.
Possibly. Well, Frederick gets up on stage to do his welcoming speech and says, you know, I'm a listener. And she goes, Terry! Terry! He's like, oh, can't hear you.
Hey, threw her shade. Okay,
yes.
majorly, because she was out there in the audience yelling. Yeah, I think you're right. I think she had a little too much to drink. I
she
think that
must
was
have.
it. Yeah.
I have to say though, we could, you know, and we're not hating on Terry.
I'm hating on her.
Okay, Jocelyn's hating,
hating
on
on her.
Terry.
Yeah.
but she brought a lot of offers to the table.
She did. I think she
have to
knows her work.
say.
She knows the Hamptons. I mean, that's
Yeah.
her playground. She knows the Hamptons. She knows, you know, properties and listings, and she's familiar with all of that in the Hamptons. And I think that she's a good person to bring in.
Yeah.
I don't know about the match between Frederick.
Her and Frederick.
Yeah. Didn't seem like a good match.
You see she's calling him and she has all of these offers. So right off the bat, I mean, kudos to Terry. She's bringing in all these offers.
Yeah.
The problem is she says, okay, I got an offer for $3 million, but they will only do it if they get a pool house. Another one calls in, we've got an offer, but they want an extra fireplace.
Okay, but how about the one where they called in and they said that they gave an offer, but they want an orange roof?
I know.
An orange roof? Like, I mean, you know what? This is
Jocelyn
just the
and I went,
lifestyles.
I'm sorry, what did she just say?
The lifestyles of the rich and famous. Like, are you kidding me? An orange roof? Like, where does that
Yeah.
even come in? And why do you want that?
I know. Why do you want that? I feel like that's something you would get sick of after a while, too.
I know. I was just like, I didn't get that.
Is
I mean,
that
I
like something with,
understand.
maybe it's like a feng shui thing? I feel like I know enough about feng shui and I don't know anything about orange roofs. If
I mean,
anyone knows anything about why anyone would want an orange roof,
let us
please
know.
comment and let us know.
Yeah, definitely, because I know about, you know, the bowl of oranges or the bowl of lemons, and I understand that, you know, you point the bed, you know, so your feet don't point towards the door. I
Yes.
get that stuff. That makes sense. But I
Yeah.
was like, this orange roof is a bit much
roof.
to ask.
And they
asking
wanted
for more
horses on site.
in the back. Well, you know what? Even the pool house. They said they wanted a pool house, and I thought that Frederick was pretty smart. We can talk about how he put a spin on it, because
yeah.
he said, why do you want a pool house? It's going to obstruct your view. of the
Yeah, you've
back.
got
You
these
came out here
gorgeous
for open
views. Why do you
space.
want to look at a guest house? He's just on that phone
Yeah.
saying, you don't want this. You know, I love it because, you know, I hear that cleaning a chimney in the Hamptons costs $900
an hour?
an hour. Yeah, exactly. And he just, You know, he was going up for bet. He was like, Frederick Eklund doesn't do concessions.
Right. He does.
He
was like, people want too many changes. They want too many things. And that's what people want. I mean, you're adding fireplace. I mean, you're adding a fireplace to a house, or 2 or 3. Just seems like it's a bit much. But people want what they want. And I guess if you're spending 3 or 4 months. Yeah, that's true.
You don't really need that
hot.
many fireplaces.
Like, why do you really need that?
Yeah.
I don't know. And if you're spending that kind of money, I don't know. If you're spending that kind of money, you possibly do want what you want. But I don't know. That kind of stuff, I think I'd be a little shy about asking for. I don't know. It'd just be a little weird.
But
I'd
also,
be like,
I imagine if you're buying a place, if you really wanted a fireplace, it's yours. I guess there are HOA laws and whatnot, but you could just build your own fireplace.
Right.
Knock down a wall, build a fireplace.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, out of all things.
So I don't know. I mean, he wasn't for it. He wasn't for giving these people anything. He said that there's no negotiations, that this is exactly what it is. What you see is what you get, and that's what you buy.
And he did his magic, and he walks into, what's her name? What's this beautiful, Jane. I almost called her Janet, but Janet's later. Goes into Jane and tells her, you know, listen, we got all of these requests for all this crazy stuff, and you can see the look of horror on her face.
Yeah.
He's like, and I squashed it.
Oh my gosh.
I am Frederick.
Was it like $20 million worth of
in offers?
That's
amazing.
amazing.
A good start.
$600,000 in commission for both of them.
Good for them.
That is nice.
Yeah, that's a sweet, sweet deal.
He always does so much with so little things that are in progress. I mean, he is definitely that broker that does really well with things that are up and coming and in progress. You know, people are buying what they can't see, which is not something I understand, because I need to see what I'm buying, which, you know, I always say, but he does really well with that. And I think it just comes from the fact that people trust him. They trust his taste. They trust that he's not going to sell them something shabby.
And he brings a certain confidence to the table that you kind of fall for.
Yeah.
Or we've seen plenty of people fall for.
Right.
But big congratulations to Frederick, because he is #1. His team is #1 in closing for the Douglas Elliman team, or the real estate agency in general.
Right.
Out of 5,500 agents.
Right.
Whew.
I know. He's definitely hit his high note.
Yeah.
He's had a great season. I think he's done really well, and he got an award for it. And he said that, I mean, he was so appreciative of it. I mean, he just, I mean, first of all, was like, I think he believed that he earned it, because, you know, he's Frederick, and he knows for sure that this is something that he earned. But I think that just the accolades and, you know, the recognition and everything was just so great. And he celebrated with his best friend that was in from London, and with
Derek,
his husband
at
Derek,
the restaurant beforehand,
which was nice.
I love seeing him with Derek, because I think it's such an interesting contrast for the show, because we see Frederick as he is in business, but he really is, he's so different with Derek, and Derek is kind of like a weak spot for him. And it's interesting to see that side of him. I like the episodes that Derek
I'm surprised that Derek, I thought it was really cool that Derek went out to the Hamptons, because a lot of times, like, you know, Frederick is wheeling and dealing and he's doing his thing. And I know he mostly does his thing in Manhattan and in New York and everything. But I think just, it seems this season they've included each other a little more, you know, in their life, you know, in their professional
trying to really
lives.
Build that family dynamic.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And so, you know, and Derek looks like he kind of belongs in the Hamptons. He kind of has that little like beach surfer thing going on. So I don't know.
Frederick recognized it, because he says to him, you know, listen, we had a really good year, and why don't we get ourselves our own retreat?
I know. And it was such a nice house. Did you see that? It was a gorgeous house.
And it's just so cool, because the bottom floor has all of this space for Derek to do his paintings. And Frederick says, you know, listen, I had the freedom to really pursue my dream and be successful. And that's a big reason why I am successful. And I really want to provide that to Derek, because I really believe in Derek. And I just thought it was so sweet. It was sweet.
But here's like the little edge that I thought.
Okay. What's
the
edge?
I thought that at first I looked at it like it was just like the sweetest, greatest offer. And I thought, like, you know, maybe he's like softening on being so hardcore about Mila, you know, the girl that the baby that he wants and everything. But this is Frederick. And Frederick always has an angle, and he always has a strategy. And I think that buying a home in the Hamptons, it's very family. That's a very family looking home. I think he's pulling Derek on in a little bit. I think he's going to wait, like he said. I think he's going to wait, and I think he's going to take the pressure off. But I think that he is sprinkling this with his Frederick tactic of trying to Yeah, to trying to get Mila into the picture.
Frederick magic sprinkles.
Exactly.
I see what you're saying. But at the same time, I think that having property in the Hamptons is almost it's almost a successful accomplishment to have.
Right.
Where he feels, okay, I'm the #1 broker. I'm going to treat myself. And
why don't I have a house in the Hamptons?
Why don't I have a house in the Hamptons?
Yeah.
Here I am selling this property for the wealthy to go have a playground. I'm pretty wealthy myself. Why don't I go and play on the playground?
That's true. But,
I think he may just want to go play on the playground.
I think so too. But I think the two of them in that house, it's going to be big. And, little feet, little pitter patter of little baby feet. It's going to come up. Yeah, I think it's going to come up sooner than later.
Yeah. All right. That's fair.
But I do like the fact that he's going to back off a little bit from, what he said. He kind of ended with, I'm not going to push so hard. And
we've also heard him say he's not going to push
Yeah.
so hard a few hundred times.
He's
Who
lying.
knows? We got the
No, I'm just
reunion next week. We're going to find out a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
so
I
we'll
don't
see
know
what happens.
if I believe.
Yeah.
We're going to have to see because
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe him 100%. I think he definitely has an angle, and I've got to see what's going on with
agree.
him. So,
all right. Well, before we move on, I want to talk about Maria's book that if you've not purchased it yet, I would definitely get on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Plenty of people sell it. It's really awesome. I've been reading a bunch of it this week. I'm about halfway through, and she really offers some really cool, wonderful tips. And it starts out not all about food. It kind of starts off about how you can really kind of change your lifestyle in a way that allows yourself to really like set up structure and really lead a healthy lifestyle. And I've already taken a few little tips from it.
I
want to share them all with you, but I don't want to ruin the book.
Ruin the experience.
Let's just say there might be something in this cup right now that's recommended.
Oh wow.
It's not booze.
I think it's such a great idea for the book because there's so many quick, fast diet fads, and you go through it really fast to maybe fit into a dress that you want for the weekend or whatever. But I feel like with this is a lifestyle change and it's slow and steady. And the thing that I liked about it is that she also, puts some yoga in there. I love yoga. So putting that in, I am obsessed.
I did
with
yoga for the first time in like 5 months yesterday. Can't tell you how proud I was of myself.
Very good.
Thank you for that clap. Okay, enough about me.
Okay.
But it's a great book. So if you don't have your copy already, I would definitely
pick it
recommend,
up,
especially before summer starts.
So we're going to move into our next broker, Ryan.
Ryan.
Oh my goodness.
He's adorable. I say that every week. I'm like, oh, Ryan, he's adorable. I know, may have a little bit of a crush on Ryan.
You know what's funny is I was going to go into Ryan. Do you want to go into Luis since Luis and Frederick kind of had some,
they
had some interesting, okay,
yeah,
so let's go to Luis.
They did.
All right. So we open up with Luis and he's trimming his bonsai tree.
And making a Red Bull smoothie.
He's making a Red Bull smoothie and he's trimming his bonsai tree.
I don't think that's in this book. I don't think Red Bull smoothies are recommended.
I don't think that's healthy.
I don't
And what do you mix
either.
with that anyway? Like some strawberries?
It looks kind of green. Was it like, it looked like
nasty.
maybe like
kale and
berry Red Bull smoothie.
Okay, Luis. But he, I thought it was
Breakfast
interesting because I'm like, maybe he's into trimming his little bonsai tree because it's definitely precision when you trim these bonsai trees because they have to take certain shapes and forms. So he's into that. I had no idea. Well, his phone rings. And the phone is ringing and ringing and ringing, and he's not answering it, and he's hitting like decline, like he doesn't want to answer the phone. It is Frederick, and Frederick is trying to offer an apology. We hear the message, and Frederick is like offering a bit of an apology for the fight that they had the last episode.
Blowout in Brooklyn.
Big blowout on the street in Brooklyn, and Luis gets upset, destroys the bonsai tree.
Poor bonsai tree.
Bonsai tree is
done.
down.
It's
Bonsai
done.
Tree is
it's over.
done. He like breaks the pot and like hits it. Interesting. Okay, well I guess he's taking boxing for a reason, but poor bonsai tree, it didn't do anything. But Frederick, I feel like in this message, it upset him so much. You know what I mean? It was just like he didn't want to hear from him, or maybe he didn't feel like it was genuine, and we later learned that he didn't feel like it was genuine. So
no, of course not. And he's developed this relationship with Ryan now, and he really has been able to have that trust in at least one of them. But Frederick just keeps disappointing him.
Yeah, Frederick does. And you know what? He's got to be, I don't know. I feel like Luis still has to be careful on both sides. Frederick, Ryan. I still think he needs to be careful. And I know right now he's really happy with the relationship that he has with Ryan. But he's still, this good guy stuff is still new for Ryan.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Become a shark any second.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he has, he's still on the Wall Street property, the penthouse. So this was the penthouse that he had last episode, and he loves the financial district. His heart is in the financial district, and he loves this penthouse. This is the one that had the odd shaped
the
angles,
really
the rooms.
weird shaped bedroom.
Right.
Yeah, like Jocelyn and I are looking at this room, and we're going, what are you gonna do?
And how do you decorate it? I feel like, do you have to put a potted plant in every corner? Like, what goes there? I had no idea. And he has to stage this place.
Yeah, so he gets the team together, and I was impressed.
I was impressed too. I couldn't believe he actually pulled off staging this place to make it look really good. But I was shocked at a couple of aspects of it. Like, it was dark.
It was dark. I thought that the decor, I didn't love the decor. I thought it was weird colors, kind of cheesy.
Yeah.
But it really showed you how you could utilize the space. And I think that's what was most important. And I thought it was really cool to see what they did. I think as far as utilizing the space, they excelled. But I would not have chosen what they chose.
No, I thought it was, first of all, I thought it was dark. I know that he was going for sexy, but it was almost a little too sexy.
Right?
I mean,
it was like trying too hard.
It was trying too hard. It was kind of like, you know, it looked like a come hither kind of place. You know what I mean? It was just like,
yeah, it was like,
I mean?
We're going to do it on the bearskin rug while like Marvin Gaye plays on.
I mean, yeah, Marvin
like
Gaye.
It was a bit much.
It was a bit much. And it was just, I don't know. But one thing that I was looking forward to, I know both of us were looking at, how are they going to decorate this room? The one that had the bedroom.
The like really sharp angle.
Right.
Yeah.
And they did. But, you know, I wasn't totally impressed with that.
Really?
No. It still looks small.
Yeah.
And angular. And it just, you know what I mean? I don't know. It still seemed a little odd to me. And I know that they place things in a way where, you know, probably feng shui, you know, is placed properly and by interior design, you know,
yeah,
just by the way that interior designers, you know, place things, it was great. But to me personally, it's not a room that I feel like I would sleep in or live in.
I get that.
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah,
that would be a guest room. I'd be like, my guests can go there when they come in town because I'm not sleeping in here.
And it's a 2-bedroom anyway. It's a 2-bedroom. So you could definitely utilize that as the guest bedroom, and I think that would be a perfectly fine guest.
So the staging is great, and he's excited about showing it and seeing what happens there. But he gets a call from Janet. Now, Janet calls him with great news. She's really happy about what happened with the property
at 30 Lincoln.
Right, with Ryan, and how Luis kind of set this up between Janet and Ryan with this property. And it sold well. She liked the price. Everything went really well with it. And she offers him 25 EFGH, which is the property that was $7.8 million many episodes back that he was not able to sell.
Yeah.
And this was just, poor thing. It was a sore spot. I mean, she took him off the property altogether. And I mean, it was a painful
Huge
scene.
blow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had this thought in the moment. Maybe she just took it off the market completely. And that could be why. But the fact that it was still open makes me think, well, obviously Luis wasn't the only one who couldn't do it. So why not bring him back on as well? I mean, obviously he's proved himself in all these other ways that we've seen episode to episode. But yeah, it wasn't selling. And let's be honest, last episode, Ryan brought it up. You haven't had any properties that have closed. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So this building that is so amazing, and all of these properties that are so amazing by Janet's standards, are not selling. So I think her properties are overpriced. But speaking of overpriced, they raised the prices on all of the properties. So that $7.8 million property was raised to $8.4 million.
I know. You see the look on Luis's face. It's like, I think he had to catch his breath for a second. But he takes the challenge. That's
a major challenge, because if you were not able to sell it at 7.8, I mean, a knot would be in my stomach about selling it for 8.4. And that's what he said. He was like, I couldn't even sell this property for 7.8. Now I've got to try to sell it for 8.4. I mean, he's up to the challenge, but good Lord.
Well, I also think between the previous the previous trying to sell, and now he's kind of had a bit more training in a way, a bit more field training. Yeah, he's built up a lot of confidence. He's had a lot of nice commissions come through, and he's learned a lot. So he probably feels like, all right, I've worked out my real estate muscles. I'm ready to go.
And he's doing really good. And so, you know what? I don't blame him. Take it and see what happens.
Yeah,
so he does take
and I love she hangs up the phone and goes, go get him, Tiger.
I know. She's rooting for him.
She's adorable.
Yeah, she is.
Like
She's so
Janet.
cute. I like her too. And I like
her
the way
outfit. She's got great little outfits.
Just about to say, I love the way she dresses.
She's like a little
my God.
sunbeam. So cute.
She is so cute. She has the cutest little sundresses. And even before, and when we saw her, she has these like really great, what looks to be Chanel or St. John suits. And I mean, this woman can dress. I like her.
I also think she wants to see them succeed.
Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
she's a bit of a mama bear.
Yeah, she is a mama bear.
Yeah,
she is, and
like
especially
her.
To Louise. A little bit flirty with Ryan, but a mama bear to Louise. So Michael, who is the developer, going back to Wall Street, Michael, who is the developer of the Wall Street property, really liked the staging. The staging was $20,000. That's what it cost to stage it. Really liked it. So now we're ready for the showing of it. So we get to the showing, and Ryan shows up, which is great because they're friends now.
They're buddies.
So that's all great. But then dun dun dun,
the door opens.
Frederick shows up. Now, what in the world was Frederick doing there?
Oh my heavens. He was like, he's not answering my phone call, so I'm going to go down to Wall Street. I'm going to interrupt his open house because that's totally normal. He's going to be so psyched to see me. What were you thinking, Frederick?
I mean, and then how unprofessional. And Frederick knows that if somebody interrupted his showing, he would lose it. He would absolutely lose it. So for him to go down there, and I'm going to go down there and find out why you haven't returned my calls.
But nicely and kindly, because I just want to have a hug and get a high five and know that we're okay.
Yeah, that's a sabotage.
Total sabotage.
That's a total sabotage.
Yeah.
This is a property that, you know, Luis is excited about. Remember, they work for the same firm. So it's not like Frederick doesn't know what Luis is doing. Exactly. Total sabotage. I'm going to go in there and start some drama in the middle of your showing, which is what he did.
So awkward.
It was very awkward. And thank God everyone left the room except for Ryan. So everyone left the room. Ryan stays in the room and they have it out. You know, Frederick is like, I called you. Why didn't you call me back?
Trying to apologize.
I'm trying to apologize to you for what happened in Brooklyn. And Luis is like, I don't feel like it's genuine. I feel like you're full of it. And I don't really want your apology. He wasn't accepting his apology at all. So,
well, we also have the moment too where Frederick realizes for the first time that the two of them are kind of a team now. Yeah. And he's like, hold on.
Like, what are you doing here? Yeah, he was looking at Ryan like, why are you here?
And almost tries to pull him into the fight. And thankfully, Ryan kept his distance. Yeah. That's one fight you don't want to be in the middle of.
Not at all. But yeah, so these two, you know, they go at it. He's upset that you didn't call him back. Luis is like, you basically are full of it. I don't feel like you try to help me. I feel like you
your approach isn't genuine.
No, not at all. And so they take it outside. Take it outside again. Take it outside in Brooklyn. Take it outside on Wall Street.
Yep.
So they're outside and they're going off once again.
Yeah, and Luis is saying like, listen, dude, I think that you just do this because you want to somehow make yourself feel like you're a good person. And actually says, well, maybe that's why you're with Derek.
Wait, both of us?
We were like,
both of us?
No, he didn't.
When that happened, like I was writing and I stopped. I was like, oh, he went there. Like he went to the private personal life. Like, ooh, those were fighting words. He brought Derek into the, you know?
Yep, and you see him, he starts to tear up a bit. He really upset him.
Well, I mean, because the reality is that he does have some issues with Derek that we see. And so, you know, Luis saying this struck a nerve.
Yeah.
Because Frederick can be a little, you know, strategic in what he does and says. And exactly. So I mean, this went to the ugly place. They go back and forth. Thankfully they didn't start fighting, because for a minute I was like, I don't know, because Luis looked like he was ready to kick off his cufflinks and his
start going
and just go at it on Wall Street. Like, you know, you didn't come here to try to start something. I'll finish
there
it.
We go. Titled Wolf of Wall Street.
The Wolves of Wall Street. And that's what they were, like right there. So Frederick looked like he got emotional.
He did, and he says, like, listen, I'm not going to be your partner. I'm going to be your competitor.
Yeah, he did. It was like a threat.
Yeah.
It was like a threat. And then he has a street, on the street confessional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And pushes the camera away. So he was pretty upset about the whole thing.
Upset.
So,
I don't know if I want an enemy out of any of them. It's going to get interesting.
Well, I mean, they all compete with each other, and I get that it's competitive in real estate and it's New York and there's so much money at stake and all of that, but I don't know. Frederick is one of those people where I feel like I would want to keep him at a distance, but kind of be cool with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it. You don't want him in your inner circle per se, but you also don't want to have him as an enemy.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't want to like push him out and have him as an enemy, because the bottom line is that Frederick knows a lot of people. Frederick knows his thing. Luis, as much as he's done great this season, he's still up and coming. He's still proving himself as, you know, a high power broker.
Don't let him hear you say that.
Well, I know, but Luis, look, I love you. You know what I'm saying? You're my boyfriend in my head, but. You know, but still, this is the season where I feel like he hit his stride, and I think he did really well. But at the same time, you know, is he on the level of Frederick? I think he's building, and I think he's close. But I don't know if I would make an enemy out of Frederick Luis. I think I would still kind of like keep him at bay. Yes, you know what I mean. But they went at it on the street, and that's it. And Luis doesn't back down. No. So that's kind of where they are.
But in good news, to get him on the road to competing with Frederick, we see after 3 weeks from his call from Janet.
Oh my goodness.
He did it. Yeah. He got an offer for 8.5 all cash, closing in 30 days.
I can't believe that.
I know. I was surprised.
I was shocked too, because I'm like, where did that come from? And we didn't really get to see the full transaction of this offer. You know what I mean? But like who it was, or, you know, how it actually transpired. But I was kind of surprised, because I thought that he was going to have a hard time with the 8.5, you know, especially coming up from 7.8. I'm shocked. I really was. But Janet was so happy for him. She was just like elated and so proud of him, and she looks forward to future business.
Yeah, and $255,000 in commission.
I know.
It's good for him.
That was worth that little $20,000 check that I was mad about last week. That wasn't I mad last week?
Yeah, you were mad.
Because I felt like Ryan, you know, kind of threw him some kibble.
Where are the bits?
Like, he didn't even give him any bits. I felt like that was
just
kibble.
The kibble.
Yeah, like just dry kibble. But it just goes to show you, Luis is very good at kind of taking the back seat and building something, and it completely paid off. There's more properties in this building, and I'm very sure that Janet's going to give him some properties on this building.
We were so proud. We were so excited.
I'm happy for him. Yeah, we were both like cheering and clapping, because we're like, yay, Luis! Like he just did it this season, and I'm really proud of him. But before we move on to our next broker, we want to ask you to go to iTunes and rate us, give us 5 stars. We hope you like us, and we hope you enjoy the show. If you watch us on YouTube, subscribe, hit like, and comment. We would love to hear from you. We'd love to hear about how you felt about the season, how you felt about the after show. Love to talk to you. We have some people on there that we talk to regularly, and it's a lot of fun, because you guys bring up some great points. And I mean, you guys are co-host on the show, because you guys bring up things that we haven't even thought of. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so you're helping us out. So definitely comment, rate us, and hopefully there'll be a season 3 and we'll be back.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So on to Ryan.
Yes.
Who's actually trying to sell a place at the Orion.
At the Orion, that's right.
Which is a block away from Times Square. Ugh.
That sounds crowded.
Very crowded.
Yeah.
And he makes the point, no New Yorker wants to live in Times Square. We avoid it like the plague.
Because it's so crowded.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's too touristy.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
It's like in Los Angeles, you're going to live on like Hollywood Boulevard. By like all the stars and stuff.
You're right.
It's just not ideal.
You're right. And there's also, I can understand that, because there's a couple of places in LA, like being from LA, that if someone were to say to live there, it'd be like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, unless you're going to see a show, it's rare that you're going to actually be in Times Square if you live in New York. But anyway, he's got this place. It's 1,075 square feet.
Yes.
2 bedroom, 2 bathroom, open kitchen, indoor pool, and a gym. Like, so, I mean, they're really upping the amenities.
Yeah, they are. And unobstructed views around, you know.
I didn't like the view, though, because I thought, yes, you have a view, but it was kind of just run down.
Yeah, it wasn't really a view of anything great. It wasn't like it was Central Park, or it wasn't like you had the river, you know, the Hudson River. Well, yeah,
you had some big buildings in the back and stuff, but up close, everything was just kind of shabby. So I just didn't find it very pleasing. But there is a benefit to this listing, because the man who's asking for Ryan's help, Andrew, is a professional dancer.
Yes, like on some serious dancing, like the Fred Astaire, like da-da-da. I mean, he's a really good dancer.
He's no joke.
Right, exactly.
And Ryan wants to prove himself to Amelia. yet again, because she always says, let's go out and do something. He's like, well, what do you want to do? And she's like, let's go dancing. And he just basically laughs it off because he's not a dancer. Ryan, I feel you. I am not a dancer. But he wants to really show her that he cared enough to learn this for her.
Yeah.
So he's going to, in addition to getting a buyer for this apartment, he's going to learn some dance moves. And
so it's a great deal because Andrew's going to teach him how to dance. I think Andrew, initially, before they, got into the dancing, they were trying to negotiate the price. Andrew wants like 1.9.
Yeah.
Okay. And so Ryan is basically saying we should be around the 1.5, but he's going to try to get him 1.7.
1.75, but he's going to aim for the 1.9. So he's listing at 1.75, which I was surprised about because I thought, well, why wouldn't you just list higher and then get the lower one that's more in line with what you wanted? But he felt confident that this was going to work. So, and he said, this will pay for my dance lessons. Oh, those are the most expensive dance lessons I've ever.
And you better come out like ready to go to Broadway on stage. Like, are you kidding? That's really expensive. And then let's talk about the dance lesson. Poor Ryan.
Oh, he even says, he goes, I dance like a banana.
And he does.
He does. He's a little cumbersome.
Well, you know what? I thought it was a couple of things. For one, I mean, I love to dance. So, I mean, like dancing is all great and everything like that. I'm no like amazing dancer, but I feel like Andrew had him doing some pretty complicated stuff.
He did. It was not 101. It was
definitely not one. It was the advanced class.
There were too many turns, fancy moves.
There was a lot of like hip movements. There was, hitting down to the floor with one knee and coming up and turning, and it was too much.
By the way, the one knee, Jocelyn and I were freaking out because we're like, oh gosh, because he says he was going to basically do a flash mob type thing in Central Park with all this dancing. And of course, the first thing that comes to your mind is, okay, elaborate proposal.
Right.
And you see this one move where he's getting on his knee and we're just like, oh gosh.
She's going to think he's proposing.
And he's not going to propose. And it's just going to be so awful and awkward.
Oh my God. And well, yeah. And I mean, that's the thing is that when you plan something really elaborate like that for a woman, we get excited because we're like, where are you going with this? I mean, it's not like, I thought him wanting to, dance and learn how to dance would be him taking Amelia out dancing, like maybe some dinner and dancing.
Yeah.
But now you're trying to do trying to do a whole flash mob thing out in
getting all these
Central
people
Park.
involved.
You got people watching. If I would have walked up, I would have been like, oh, he has a ring for sure.
Right.
Like he's got a ring. I would have been like waiting, like, are you getting down on bended knee?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What's happening?
Yeah, I don't know, but he was. But how cute was it that the scenes that they showed of him practicing? He's like gyrating all over New York.
Oh my gosh, all over the office, the apartment. He is moving those hips somehow in one way. Yeah, it was interesting. Let's say that.
And he was cute because at least he was like,
he was trying.
Yeah, because he was getting. I felt like it was like Broadway, like fussy, fussy, fussy. I mean, I just felt like it was like but it was cute, and I love when he dresses down. I love to see these guys dress down.
Yeah, I do too because we always see them in suits, and it's nice to see them how they would be in everyday casual life.
He had on this like black t-shirt and some high tops, his like Jordans and stuff. He looked cute.
Yeah, he did.
But I still think that Andrew should have made it a little bit more simple.
I agree. Well, back to the apartment.
Yeah.
Ryan realizes, okay, no New Yorker is going to buy this place because it's in the middle of Times Square. But you know who will? Foreign businessmen.
Absolutely.
So he wisely sets up phone calls at 11 o'clock at night to call Hong Kong at 11 a.m. to try to sell this place over the phone.
Yes.
Which, back again to seeing a place before you're actually in it, or buying a place before you're actually in it, is just, I don't understand it. But sure enough, these offers are coming through. We get the first one. A client's willing to pay full cash for full asking price.
Yeah, and it was such an interesting scene also because he had the clocks up. He had translators, and he's calling Hong Kong, Shanghai, and Beijing. So he's got it all set up. He has translation going for everything. He's like, if they don't speak English, he was pretty sure that they would have someone to speak English in Hong Kong. But just in the event that they didn't, he had a translator for it. And so everything was set up. And I couldn't believe that the full asking came in on a place that no one's seen. And they probably just... it's probably a picture like from the website or something like that on the place. But to get full asking is amazing.
Yeah. And then we get another one in for 1.8.
Right. Bidding war.
Right afterwards. It was pretty incredible. Right. So then, of course, like always, he comes in with his 1.8, which is a big deal, and shows it to Andrew, and Andrew wants higher. And in this case, Ryan felt pretty confident about it. He wasn't he wasn't saying it's 1.8, you should take it. It's more than what we listed. He was like, all right, I'll get you more.
Yeah, because when you have so many coming in, I mean, you figure more are going to come in. I mean, these were
exactly.
2.
I mean, it was so quick the way it happened.
Yeah, and we don't know. It could have been 3 or 4 that we just didn't get to. You know what I'm saying? Because of like, you know, editing and the way that they do it. But, you know, he didn't seem as though he was concerned about it. You know, Andrew wanted what did he want? 1.9?
Yep.
He got 1. Was it at 1.85 or
1.89?
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
So close. I mean, it's practically the same thing when we're talking about that much money.
Absolutely.
So final offer 1.89. It's a nice sweet $113,000 commission for Ryan. So not too shabby. And he learned how to dance.
He did.
So it was
a win-win.
It's probably a really fun listing for him to be on. So all right, so we get to Central Park. It's in the middle of the workday, so he and Amelia are all dressed up in their work outfits, and they start walking in. Jocelyn and I start cringing. Yeah. Because we're going, oh no,
we had anxiety.
She's going to start crying. This is going to be awful. And it actually ended up being really sweet.
Yeah, well, it was funny the way we were watching this because we really did have some anxiety about the whole situation. We're like sitting back in our chairs, but it was really cute the way he brought her out, and it was really. And at first, you remember how he reacted when the lady, it was one of his agents,
his girlfriend,
came out and like grabbed him away. Was like, oh, I just want to dance with him, and I'm like, who is this?
Right?
Wait a second.
You'd be like, step back.
Yeah, I was like, did she just come grab her man and dance with? I was like, oh, there's gonna be a fight in the park. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just thought like that was a bold move because I didn't move because I didn't know what was going on. But it was to show her that he learned how to dance, and she was shocked.
She was so shocked, and she's just laughing and smiling, and you could just tell it meant a lot to her.
Yeah.
And then of course, pulls her in and tells her, I have really wanted to show you that I'm making an effort and that you mean so much to me, and I don't want to lose you. So I learned how to ballroom dance so I could dance with you in front of all of you strangers in Central Park. And she was just so excited.
And he loves her.
Oh yeah, and he loves her.
And he doesn't. I mean, I would have been. That was it. I would have been on the
So
ground in
cute.
Central Park. Like that would have done me in.
Yeah.
Completely.
And then we see him go home, and he says it's just so comforting to come home to Amelia, and that she's his home now.
Yeah.
Just really sweet, and that's what love is, Somebody else is your home.
He came a long way.
He did. He
came a
really
long
did.
way.
I'm proud of him.
I am too, because he showed growth. I mean, he really did show that he kind of got to a place where he understands himself and has grown. I think we were saying, I don't know if he's ready to propose quite yet.
No.
He's got to settle into this new Ryan first.
Yeah.
And she's got to give him a chance to settle into this new Ryan.
Of course, it's easy to get super excited about it right off the bat, and he's doing a great job. And it seems like it really means a lot to him to try and be this way, or really just be the real him, as he calls it. But yeah, we have to let him practice it a bit more.
Yeah, he's got to live in that for a moment.
Yeah, but he makes a good point. He says, listen, I'm learning that you can be a strong businessman and not be a douchebag.
Exactly, and you can.
It's true.
He's got to learn to leave it at the office, come home, and actually be a good boyfriend and possibly later a good husband. I mean, because he's bringing all this stuff home. You live with it, and that's what you have. And you can't cuddle up to your real estate.
No.
I understand that you can have a fat bank account and, be really happy with that, but you can't cuddle up to your bank account either. No. So you're going to have to let some of that down. And I think that he understands that. I just want to see that he plays that out. And I'm hoping that like next season we can see that, they've progressed and, have moved into.
I hope so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think they will.
So the only thing that he left untangled was the sky garage.
We could not let that one be unresolved, of course, because all season it's been all about the sky garage, and we see him. He's on CNBC talking about it, and
yeah. And he talks about his properties. He has I believe it's a podcast. He has like a show with CNBC, and he goes on there and he talks about real estate, what listings are out there, and how he does what he does as a top real estate broker, and kind of teaching other brokers, what to do. So he has this whole side life of doing that as well. And so in that, I'm sure he's promoting, because he's also trying to find an international buyer for the sky garage,
which would be smart.
Yeah, because it would appeal to someone who is more of an international buyer. And so he's still trying to sell it. So we'll have to see what happens with this amazing
I wonder
sky
if
garage.
by the reunion it'll be sold.
I wonder too. It's probably, I would assume.
I think so. It's so cool. I don't understand why no one's bought it yet.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go on his website and check out and see
check it,
the progress on
investigate
that.
a bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah. I bet it'll be sold by the reunion.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that commercial did something good for him.
Yeah, exactly.
We shall see.
All right. Well, I think that's it for us. I don't want to go. I don't want it to be over. But we'll be back next week for the reunion.
And I'm excited about the reunion because we saw some things on the preview.
Yeah,
I saw tears.
There's crying. There's fighting.
I saw anger.
Separate couches. Oh my gosh, it's like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, and Andy, Andy Cohen looks like he's in the middle going, what in the world is about to happen?
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to be a high octane, crazy reunion, and Frederick and Louise, and I think they're all going to go in. But it's going to be interesting because I'm wondering if, I won't go into predictions quite yet, but I'm just wondering as far as the reunion, is it going to be 2-on-1? With Louise.
Oh, I think it's going to certainly start off as 2-on-1.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know. Well, it seems like we've got, the couch is set up one way, and then we bring some people out, and we start. We'll
have to see what happens. Okay. Well, then I guess
hopefully there are no black eyes.
Oh my gosh.
No makeup covering black eyes.
I don't know. Well, and Ryan had a lot of makeup on as they teased the
reunion.
Reunion. Why does he have so much makeup? And he looked like he had lipstick on.
Really tan.
Is that what's going on?
Maybe he got a spray tan.
He had cherry lips this episode.
I don't know. Yeah, he's getting his face all pretty.
Okay, he needs to calm down. Bring that down a notch. You know what I mean? He does. Yeah. Because that's a bit much. I mean, all that. I mean, I know you have to wear makeup for camera and everything like that. I completely get it, but let's just mat it down a little bit and get something kind of neutral. I don't know.
He's borrowing Amelia's.
It's
lipstick.
Confusing.
Yeah.
A little confusing. Yeah, all right. Well, let's get into some predictions.
Let's do it.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I need my cup of the stuff I won't tell you that's in it, because it's a Maria Menounos' book.
It's going to help with predictions.
Totally gonna help with the predictions. Gosh. There's so much.
There is so much.
I think Sky Garage is going to be sold. I think that Derek and Frederick are going to be nowhere with the baby thing. Because it seemed like that from the previews that's still nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think that Louise and Frederick are going to go in on this reunion. It's going to be pretty bad. I think that they're going to get personal with one another. And I think there's going to be some issues. I also think, and they tease this a little bit, Derek comes on and there's some issue that's going on between Derek and Frederick. And I don't know if this is something that came out this season or if it's just a continuation of the baby issue, but there's something going on with them. There's like an underlying, there's like a current, something's happening that is not being discussed by them, or it is being discussed and we're not seeing it on camera, but it looks like it's emotional. So I think
we might be learning something.
We're going to dig into their relationship a bit.
What do you think about Louise and Frederick? Do you think that there'll be a reconciliation?
No.
I don't either.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not at all. But I do think that Louise and Ryan will continue.
Yes.
I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
For time being.
Yeah.
If Ryan can continue being this amazing
his
Ryan.
Good guy. Well, I don't know. We see Amelia crying on it too. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Preview, so
I just don't want him to propose though. Not yet.
Yeah, you're just not ready.
I'm not ready yet.
Ryan, you need to take the relationship advice from Jocelyn.
Yeah, I'm here to give you advice. I don't think that it's time yet. I think you need to wait it out a little bit. Definitely have it on your mind, and get the ring, and everything like that if you're ready.
I wonder how much real time we have between when they filmed the last episode and the reunion.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm assuming that time.
I'm assuming that it's probably
a few months.
Few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it's enough time to make major decisions like babies.
Yes.
Marriage.
Yes.
I don't know.
And Mercury is in retrograde. You're not supposed to make decisions during this time.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, that
little
I will
side
not make
info.
A decision.
Well, yes, Ryan, Mercury is in retrograde. Don't make any big decisions.
Okay. Well, where can we find you, Lauren?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at The Fancy Hippie.
And you can find me on Twitter at Jocelyn Polite and on The Weekend Relish at jocelynpolite.com. We will see you next week for the reunion.
Woo!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.